God of grace and glory, we humbly invoke your presence as we mark the 244th birthday of our Corps. Our mission this evening is solemn remembrance, crisp pageantry, and joyful camaraderie as we relish our legacy and rededicate ourselves to each other and to tomorrow. Lifting up our Corps, we pray that every Marine in every time, climate, and place knows they are cherished. Lifting up Caltrap, we boldly ask for a double blessing for all the forward deployed, forward employed Marines and sailors ready to fight tonight. Being so engaged, we are aware that getting together like this is a birthday gift not to be taken for granted. So for those around us, the feast we're about to partake of, for the festivities and all brought them to fruition, we give thanks. May all of this strengthen us and keep us semper fidelis for the sake of our precious families, friends, and allies, our beloved Corps, country, and your world. Hurrah and amen.
Please be seated. Ladies and gentlemen, please direct your attention to the front of the dance floor. You will find an illuminated table that has been prepared in honor of our fallen comrades. It symbolizes the valiant sacrifices of our Navy Marine Corps team. Tonight, we pay special tribute to the members of our Marine Corps family who have been taken from us. Their sacrifices and the sacrifices of their families help preserve our nation's freedom and enable millions of our citizens to enjoy the American dream. We stand free today because of them. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise and join in a moment of silence as we pause to honor those brave men and women who have given their lives in the service of our country. Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated and direct your attention to the nearest screen for the viewing of the Commandant of the Marine Corps' 244th birthday message.
It's coming up, and that's what happens. Speaking of coming up, the sun's going to be coming up here in about another 5 minutes or so.
V-22 aircraft standing by. So these Marines will be ready to go, Wolf, if and when the order comes.
Every Marine trains, prepares 24/7 to get the phone call in the middle of the night that your unit's deploying. The phone call you weren't expecting, but you're ready for.
Marines win as a team. It's a team sport. We get there, fight, sustain, advance, and win as a team.
There's so much planning, so much detail that goes into a night raid or an amphibious landing. So many things can go wrong. There's a lot of complexity to a night patrol with a platoon of Marines in tough terrain.
I couldn't even describe the amount of adrenaline rush that it takes. It hits your body, and it's like a light switch. And as soon as the light turns on, you just go. And it really boils back down to the basics of that whole team concept, though, because you've trained, you've done it so many times that it's just automatic, that muscle memory hits. And it's the whole concept of shoot, move, communicate as a team.
It's not an easy task to launch out of the back of a Navy ship and move towards land. Knowing Marines would be the first one to put feet ashore and secure the beach.
We go back to our guys, start prepping our gear, do PCCs, PCIs, make sure everybody's on the same page. That way when we get off the bird and our first step, it's game time from there.
We've done it before, and we'll continue to do it. But we must be able to do it from the sea. The sea is where we will launch from, maneuver from, and recover to. We have a lot of innovation and a lot of technology in the Marine Corps.
But at the end of the day, the centerpiece for the Marine Corps is some small unit. That part is the focus. That is why we exist.
There's one thing, especially being an infantry unit leader, is the fact that there's so many things going on in what we call the controlled chaos of combat, and without having good squad leaders to be able to call in the medevacs, to be able to call for fire, and know that your front's covered in all angles because the team's there and making sure that the job's getting done.
A really good operational unit is silent when they're moving. No voice commands. Just Marines moving quietly, slowly, no talking.
When it comes down to it, technologies have changed, but the fundamentals of warfare remain the same. Once we hit the deck, it's all about squad leaders and platoon sergeants assessing the situation and adapting to it, just like it has been throughout our entire history.
Implicit communications, sensing the Marine to the left and to the right, knowing where each member of the squad is and where they need to be, like a finely tuned machine. Successes and failures. And the piece that makes us know our lives are safe in the hands of others is trust. We trust our fellow Marines and sailors implicitly. We know they are trained, prepared, willing to put it all on the line when the situation calls for it, in combat, in garrison, and at home. Without trust and cohesion, a platoon doesn't exist. The unit doesn't exist. The Corps doesn't exist. I trust my life to each and every Marine who has ever earned the title U.S. Marine.
I'll tell you, some of the best Marines I had in Vietnam were corpsmen. They're not sailors or medics, they're corpsmen, and they love the Marine Corps.
When I got off that train, and it was a train that I got off at Paris Island, and that gunnery sergeant started yelling at me, okay? He lit a fire in me. And the day that I left boot camp, and he put a metal emblem in my hand and squeezed my hand until it bled. And that still makes a difference for me.
It is with honor, courage, and commitment that we stand in the face of adversity with unwavering resilience. There is no better friend, no worse enemy, because it does not matter how bruised or battered we refuse to fail. To be always faithful. In times of chaos or peace, we willingly pay its price because freedom is not free. In faith in something greater than ourselves, we stand boldly, determined to make a difference, to make our presence felt. And to this cause, we dedicate our very lives. This title, etched on our hearts until the day we die. We are once and forever United States Marines.
As a leader, we were talking about life and death, right? If they believe in you, and if they believe that you are going to take care of them, you're concerned about their welfare, they're going to respond to you in any situation.
From one devil dog to the next, happy birthday. Hoorah!
Once a Marine, always a Marine is not just a slogan. Here's to 244 years of success as a Corps.
We still carry the torch for that person who wore the uniform over 240 years ago.
Happy birthday, Marines.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for honors to the Commanding General and remain standing for the presentation of the colors.
Present sword!
entrance of the traditional Marine Corps birthday cake. Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated.
Parade, rest!
On 1 November 1921, the 13th Commandant of the Marine Corps, Lieutenant General John A. Lejeune, directed that a reminder of the honorable service of the Corps be published by every command to all Marines throughout the globe on the birthday of the Corps. Since that day, Marines have continued to distinguish themselves on many battlefields and foreign shores, in war and peace. On this birthday of the Corps, therefore, in recognition of the will of the 13th Commandant, a reminder of the Corps' honorable service is published as follows.
On November 10, 1775, a Corps of Marines was created by a resolution of the Continental Congress. Since that date, many thousand men have borne the name Marine. In memory of them, it is fitting that we who are Marines should commemorate the birthday of our Corps by calling to mind the glory of its long and illustrious history. The record of our Corps is one of which will bear comparison with that of the most famous military organizations in the world's history. During 90 of the 146 years of its existence, the Marine Corps has been in action against the nation's foes. From the Battle of Trenton to the Argonne, Marines have won foremost honors in war, and in the long eras of tranquility at home, generation after generation of Marines have grown gray in war in both hemispheres and in every corner of the 7 seas, that our country and its citizens might enjoy peace and security. In every battle and skirmish since the birth of our Corps, Marines have acquitted themselves with the greatest distinction, winning new honors on each occasion, until the term Marine has come to signify all that is highest in military efficiency and soldierly virtue. The high name of distinction and soldierly repute we who are Marines today have received from those who have preceded us in the Corps. With it, we also receive from them the eternal spirit which has animated our Corps from generation to generation and has been the distinguishing mark of the Marines in every age. So long as that spirit continues to flourish, Marines will be found equal to every emergency in the future as they have been in the past, and the men of our nation will regard us as worthy successors to the long line of illustrious men who have served as soldiers of the sea since the founding of the Corps.
The timeless and inspiring message of our 13th Commandant has left its mark in the hearts and minds of all Marines, past and present, by deed and act from Belleau Wood to the Argonne, from Guadalcanal to Iwo Jima, from Incheon to the Korean armistice, from the hard fights in Vietnam to Desert Seal, Desert Storm, and to this century's longest wars in Iraq and Afghanistan, and in the hundreds of other places where Marines have distinguished themselves. Marines have continued to epitomize those qualities which are their legacy. The success in combat and the faith they have borne in peace will endure forever. The Commandant and our many friends have added their hearty praise and congratulations on this, our 244th birthday. Ladies and gentlemen, a message from the Commandant of the Marine Corps. This year, the Marine Corps celebrates 244 years of warfighting excellence and uncommon valor. The United States Marines define the world's image of elite warrior citizens. We take pride in the legacy built by those who came before us and in carrying that legacy into the future. Capabilities, battlefields, and adversaries change, and Marines continue to adapt to every challenge. Prepared to fight and win wherever and whenever our nation calls. What does not change is the Marine spirit, a warrior spirit rooted in our core values. The strength of our Corps is our Marines. Our success depends on all Marines embodying the values in which our Corps is founded. It requires leveraging the talents and ingenuity of every Marine to strengthen our Corps. Since 1775, courageous Marines have answered the call to fight for freedom and shaped our reputation as the most feared fighting force the world has seen. Marines from each generation approached every battle with a lethal combination of versatility, perseverance, and adaptability that has allowed us to prevail in any climate place. Throughout the 244-year history of the Marine Corps, our nation has required Marines to adapt capabilities and fighting styles to defeat adversaries in all domains. Marines who took to the seas with naval counterparts to combat barbary pirates solidified our role as a naval expeditionary force of readiness. World War I saw Marines fighting sustained land campaigns and returning from those battles to immediately begin redesigning how to go to war. Those innovations laid the foundations for the amphibious landings of World War II. Combat operations in Korea and Vietnam brought harsh climates and unforgiving terrains that again forced Marines to adapt and overcome. In Iraq and Afghanistan, urban battlefields and counterinsurgency tactics demanded innovations in warfighting strategies and capabilities. Today, we find ourselves once again facing new and evolving threats in different operational environments. Like our predecessors, we'll move forward with those lessons learned from past conflicts while redesigning the force and innovating for future conflict with any adversary who dares to fight. Marines, congratulations on 244 years of excellence. Like the first birthday message published by the 13th Commandant, General John Lejeune in 1921, this message serves as a reminder of the legacy we are charged with upholding. Today is our day to celebrate our heritage and to honor the sacrifices of those who fought before us. It is also a day to recommit ourselves to our core values and resolutely pursue the strength of character that defines the United States Marines. And it is a day to look forward to future battlefields, to prepare to uphold the distinguished warfighting legacy of our predecessors, wherever our nation calls. Happy birthday, Marines. David H. Berger, General, United States Marine Corps, Commandant of the Marine Corps. The Marine Corps birthday cake cutting ceremony is important to all Marines. It is the annual renewal of each Marine's commitment to the Corps and the Corps' commitment to our nation's quest for peace and freedom worldwide. The birthday cake is traditionally cut with a mandolin sword as a reminder that we are a band of warriors committed to carrying the sword so that our nation may live in peace. As is our custom, the first piece of cake will be presented to the guest of honor, Sergeant Major Mario Marquez. By tradition, the next piece of cake is presented to the oldest Marine in attendance as a sign of honor and respect according to the experience and seniority. This evening, our oldest Division Marine is Colonel Jason S.D. Perry, who was commissioned in the Marine Corps in December of 1994. A native of Flat Rock, North Carolina, Colonel Perry was born on September 1st, 1969. For 244 years, our experienced Marines have nurtured and led young Marines to fill our ranks and renew our Corps. The oldest Marine passes the piece of cake to the youngest Marine, symbolizing the passing of wisdom, knowledge, and experience, as well as trust and confidence in those who will carry on Marine Corps traditions in the future. This evening, our youngest Division Marine is Second Lieutenant Dominic M. Trafalia, who was commissioned in the Marine Corps in June of 2018. And reported for duty here at 3rd Marine Division on May 1st, 2019, currently serving with Headquarters Battalion. a native of Woodland, California, Second Lieutenant Trevelyan, was born on April 10th, 1996. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the retirement of the colors and the departure of the official party, which will be followed by the playing of the song of the Fighting Third, Anchors Away, and the Marine Hymn.
Present! Sword!
Forward. March.
Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated. Ladies and gentlemen, the Commanding General, 3rd Marine Division, Major General Lejeune.
All right, hoorah. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Happy birthday, Marines. All right, let's check it out a little bit. Look, welcome to the Caltrap Division, Fighting Third, 244th celebration of our Corps tonight. Again, we are absolutely honored to have our Assistant Commandant of the Marine Corps, General Thomas, with us, along with the Deputy Commandant for Installations and Logistics, no stranger to Okinawa, Lieutenant General Shiroti,
and of course our very own MEF commander here and his beautiful wife Allison. So ladies and gentlemen, please welcome our distinguished guest here this evening. Hoorah. I'd like to also extend a special welcome to all my fellow CGs who are here, all of our commanders, all of our senior enlisted leaders, our Joint Force partners, and then our special friends for the 15th Brigade. Major General Nakamura, thank you very much for being here tonight. Hey, listen, everybody knows with this accent, I'm obviously not from Boston, and you've had to endure a few of these North Carolina sayings I got, and one of them is, you know, if you really want to know what's important to folks, it ain't all about what they say, but more about what they do, right? So I believe that talk is cheap and you vote with your feet. And so I just want to say thank you very much for voting with your feet to be with the Caltrack Division here tonight for all of us. Thank you very much. Hoorah. So before I introduce the guest of honor tonight, I also want to give a big shout out here to some folks. We got just an awesome ball committee led by Gunny C and Major Patterson, Jitty. We got a extraordinary drill master who's leading all of our sword details and escorts here from 4th Marine Regiment and 1st Sergeant Easton, along with just a magnificent group of folks to include the band who did a super job. So please join in a round of applause for the whole team. So most of you are clapping right now because you're happy you wasn't on the committee or on the sword detail too, right? So there's something in it for each and every one of you. I can promise you that. But look, while I got the mic, and then before somebody takes it away from me here, you know, I just want to tell you how proud I am of all the great teamwork, all the commitment of each and every one of you, each and every day. You do it with no fanfare, looking out for the Marines, taking care of the mission, taking care of business. Maine, the only division, forward deployed, taking care of everything that needs to be done, and one of the most demanding AOs around the world. Whether you're in the jungles or in the mountains, you're in the Philippines, Thailand, Indonesia, Malaysia, now we're in India, Australia, and all places in between, all the while with a keen eye towards getting better each and every day. And I'd just like to say thanks to all of our spouses and our families and our friends who serve just as faithfully alongside us here that we couldn't do it without you. So thank you all for each and every day for what you do for us. We appreciate it, and I appreciate it, and I don't take it for granted one single bit. So now, let me tell you a little bit about our guest of honor tonight. We're very fortunate to have our very own 3 MEF Sergeant Major, and I say fortunate because I think he got invited to be the guest of honor for every ball here on the island. All right, so we just have to get our gives in early with him. Now, with 30 years of service, as you might imagine, Sergeant Major Marquez has served all across every climb and place that you can imagine across the MAGTF and our Corps and the Joint Force. All the while, he has been with multiple deployments forward, either in support of or conducting combat operations, from the MLG to the MU to the MAW, to the ground combat element running the streets with 1st Battalion, 9th Marines in Iraq. When he wasn't leading Marines in harm's way, let me tell you, he was leading Marines in the Joint Force, whether he was in CENTCOM, PACOM, or SOUTHCOM. And when he wasn't doing that, he also served on the drill field. And he was making Marines and leading the way there. You know, we say in the Marine Corps, we're in the business of making Marines and winning battles. And so if you know anything about Sergeant Major Marquez, then I think all of you know there's absolutely no doubt that he has been leading charge on both of those fronts throughout his career. So how about join me in a warm Caltrack welcome here for your very own MEF Sergeant Major Marquez. Hoorah.
All right, good evening. Happy birthday, Marines. In 244 years, that's a significant milestone in our Marine Corps journey. I'm going to ask you first, before I do my formal welcomes of our distinguished guests tonight, that everything that I tell you today is rhetorical, but that doesn't mean we don't have to continue to take action on things that are rhetorical, because we owe it to 244 Marines, 244 years of Marines that have come before us. We have the obligation to sacrifice the blood, sweat, and tears for all the history and the path that they have laid for us in our future. And now, for this MEF specifically, this division, the main focus of effort. This is the first time in my career of over 30 years where 3MEF has been a priority for the Marine Corps. And I don't mean that in a negative way. This MEF has been, and this division specifically, has led this MEF in combat on two major occasions, World War II and in Vietnam, 47 months specifically in Vietnam. And now your time has come again. And I need you to take that really seriously. So while I'm welcoming the guests of honor and our MEF commander and the other ladies and gentlemen at my table, I want you to think about the most difficult and crappiest situation you've ever been in as a division Marine or sailor. The worst, most testing, challenging, you just wanted to go back to mom and sit there and do whatever mom does or your comfort zone does for you because you didn't want to be there because it was that tough. Just think about that for a moment. General Thomas, sir, I appreciate you being here. I know you could be up here right now, and I know that you just want to relax and enjoy your time, and that means a lot to us. It means a lot to me. I've never been a guest of honor at a division ball. It's my one shot, and so you and I have something in common. His name is Chris Robinson, my best friend in the Marine Corps, a mentor of mine. We were first sergeants in 19 together. He was your sergeant major, and you're a role model to him. And I just want to thank you for everything you do for the Marine Corps. So thank you. General Clarity, sir, welcome aboard, sir. The only guy that I know that's done more tours than I have in 3MEF. So nobody can call me the mayor of 3MEF. That's the governor of 3MEF right there. So welcome back, sir. It's a pleasure and honor to have you. We are really getting adjusted to your style, your intensity, your leadership. You're the right guy for what we got coming at us. And the enemy can stand and help by because you're deadly serious about what we're doing. I appreciate you. Allison, I'm looking forward to working with you on all other things we're doing for our families and spouses. General Sharadi, sir, we've met on multiple occasions, some of it at the Pentagon, and I appreciate your mentorship and counsel. And General Journey, sir, Sue, you are a blessing. I really love you guys. You guys are awesome. We have a lot of friends that are common in the Marine Corps, and what you do for us is really, truly down-to-earth leadership. We just want to get on that whatever, Cadillacs and just go forward and start shooting things on your leadership. And with your sergeant major, command master chief, you guys are amazing. And I'm going to talk about real quickly, I'll be less than 10 minutes total, including what I just said, about what it is to be a Marine when it comes to today. What I, as a 1980s, early 90s Marine, learned that you need to be doing, and I think you will hopefully embrace, because I think you will, for the future of the Marine Corps. So when the Marine Corps is not fighting, we're training. That's the bottom line. The Marines aren't sitting around, they're not in the barracks, they're not wasting time, we're not prepared for any dead time. They're safe pocket classes for a reason. The lieutenants and the staff sergeants are taken into the field. The corporals and the sergeants have a training schedule, and they have a plan, and they're executing it. And they're doing it every single day, all of the time, every single day, because it's, you can't prepare enough for combat. You just can't. Because when the time comes for you to have to tell somebody's mom, dad, or wife that their son or daughter is not coming home, you're going to question yourself. If you've been there, you're going to say, did I do everything I could to prepare that young man or woman to bring them home? And you can never do enough. And so it's powerful that the Marine Corps is going back to the Fleet Marine Force. It's powerful that we're going back to ships. But we're not just going back to ships. We're going back to training in the very basics of everything that I just said. Because that's what Marines do. We prepare for combat 24/7, all year long. And the spouses are going to be mad as hell. Because we're going to be gone if we're doing our job. Spouses, if we want to come home, we need to be gone a lot of the year so that we can come home to you. Because that's what Marines do. And we love you for that. You're the angels that we fight for. And so, as you move into the next few years of the Commandant's intent and his planning guidance, which we're already executing, 3MEF does not have time to wait on the Commandant to tell us, or even the MEFCG to tell us, this is what you need to do. And I know we're not doing that. The MEFCG has empowered you all in this room as the combat element of this MEF, who's going to take the lead in multiple types of combat operations, from small units all the way up to the battalion and regiment level, in austere environments with no communication. And you're going to be expected to take care of certain things and then come back home and then do it again, day in, day in, day. Just like 3rd Marine Division did for 3 consecutive years during World War II, and you did it in Vietnam for 47 months, non-stop, during Vietnam. Are you and your Marines prepared to do that for the next 4, 5, 10 years? That's what this is about. That's what the CPG is about. 3rd Marine Division is going to take a role in leadership in this MEF. Why? Because as you develop these teams, and I'm not going to go classify here, sir, if I say anything, just throw a rock at me or a beer bottle or something. As you develop these teams of people that are non-grunts and non-recon and non-division Marines, you're going to have to bring them into the fold. And you're going to have to make sure that they are at your level of training and execution and understanding. So when you go out there and take care of all these missions that we're going to be tasked in order to do, it's on your shoulders, Lieutenant, Staff Sergeant, Corporal, and Sergeant, to make sure that your attachments, your augments, are able to do and hang and keep up with you. Because that's what the next fight is going to be about. All of you have to be good at cyber, at everything with social media, communications, shooting, running, swimming, jungle warfare, mountain warfare, at being miserable and loving it and smiling, going, this sucks. Because that's the life of a division Marine. That was my life when I was in division. It sucked and we loved it. And that's why we joined. We didn't join to sit back in the rear and do whatever, you know. Not saying that being in the rear is a bad thing. But I ask you to commit yourself tonight to 244 years of blood, sweat, and tears, of former Marines and sailors. You heard the Commandant, and you heard our message earlier, that our sailors are Marines too. And they love doing what they do. So thank you to all of you, my foremen, my sailors, my RPs, and all of you that support us. To the Joint Force, thank you for being here tonight. The future fight is a joint fight. So to the Army, Air Force, and the Navy, we appreciate your support. We're not going to be able to do it without you. But I will tell you that this MEF, under that Commanding General, this division under that Commanding General, is ready to fight. And I know that the entire FMF is here tonight, is represented by all the leadership, senior enlisted and generals, for the future of what it means to be the main focus of the Marine Corps. And that's 3rd Marine Expeditionary Force, led by the 3rd Marine Division. To the families, I just want to say thank you very much for all that you've done for your entire time that you've been in the military, your careers, your husband or spouse's career. We really appreciate you. We cannot do it without you. And I can honestly go into my last year in the Marine Corps knowing that 3MEF is now the main focus of effort. I can rest in peace. But I'm going to give you 110% until I retire next year. And I expect the same out of each and every one of you, because I'm just passing it on to you. You have to watch. Good to go? All right. Hey, happy 244th birthday, Semper Fidelis. Run.
All right, on behalf of the staff and NCO officers here, and all our Marines, we might have got you a little something here. So, if any of you don't know it already, you know, he also claims to be a pretty damn good fisherman. I ain't real sure about that, but the last time I think he found Nemo, he turned into sushi, right? So I don't know. But in case you do go looking for Nemo the next time, or just to maintain proper operational risk management, that you stay hydrated properly, and you remember the 3rd Marine Division and the fighting 3rd. everybody got something that we thought you might remember us by. And years to come here, so I know you're all right. So again, thank you for who you are and what you do. All right? God bless you. Something proud of you. Right.